Hey guys, Justin Brock here. Today I am sitting down with Alex Doonanco, and Alex is with CareCycle. Now, CareCycle is an organization that is helping agencies, call centers, FMOs deploy their tools to help these agents retain their business, also to maybe enhance the ability to market to consumers in a way that becomes more efficient using AI. And I know AI gets used a ton, but in this case, we're actually talking about actually using AI, right? And using the AI voice concepts to enhance and make your operation more efficient. I'm excited as I'm talking to Alex because we have multiple partners who we know that this would be a good solution for, as well as potentially our own team, our own in-house team. And so I wanted to sit down and do this. Also, just letting you guys know, CareCycle is going to be involved in Medicare Con, and we're super excited to have them as part of that. And so, Alex, without further ado, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Justin. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. And so, Alex, give me a little bit of background. I know one day you woke up and you said, I want to make AI collide with Medicare beneficiaries. But what got you to that point? What's the background of Alex, and where were you at in this journey of like trying to find this problem to solve, and what made it come to life for you?
Yeah, so I'm originally from a small town in Canada. So Medicare wasn't even something that I was particularly familiar with until a few years ago. So moved around quite a bit, and then eventually landed here in the Bay Area to work for a company called AI Rudder. So they were one of the early leaders in voice AI, started in 2019, and I joined them to start and build out their US team. Now, at that time, voice AI was very early. So the performance was a lot lower, it was a lot less intelligent, and it was a lot more expensive. So at that time, we were really working with early adopters to build very bespoke systems for very narrow use cases. The intelligence per unit cost really wasn't good enough to handle a lot of super meaningful tasks, but we saw kind of early promise with how quickly it was getting better and how we were able to effectively handle, basic pre-qualification sequences and things like that. Now, during that time, I got to experience working with Medicare agencies, ACA agencies, home service folks, legal, financial institutions, all on these contact center automation tasks. And it became kind of increasingly clear to me that with Medicare being a business that's primarily over the phone and will probably stay that way for a very long time, there's a lot of room just to enhance the senior experience rather than being a conventional kind of call center play where a sale takes place and there's little follow-up afterward, except for, maybe the top 5 to 10% of agencies. We can deploy this technology to create a really great deal of continuity through the customer care cycle and through the whole life cycle of beneficiaries. So early on, we started out pretty horizontal. When we launched, we were also serving financial institutions and had the opportunity to work with some of the biggest agencies and FMOs in the country. And there was kind of an aha moment of sorts where we helped them with AEP outreach first, then we expanded to the retention side, and we really understood how much businesses were bleeding. If a software company had the average cancellation rate that the average Medicare agency does, it wouldn't survive. So I just thought, wow, this is a big problem for us to solve, and kind of fell in love with it. I'm now taking my Medicare agent pre-licensing course in California just to learn more about the problem and learn more how we can use this technology in unique ways to help folks out.
Yeah. And ultimately, this will help the end user, the Medicare beneficiary, maintain a longer term relationship with the person that placed them with a product from the get-go. It'll help drive lifetime value for the agency by them not shopping. Because oftentimes they're shopping not because they necessarily need to change their plan, but because they're completely bewildered by, is what I have the best? They have a barrage of ads that they're getting. And, often they already have the benefit that they're being advertised, and they just don't even realize that. So I'm assuming in a lot of the follow-up process, there's a lot of benefit explanation, or, just like someone to talk to or follow up in getting them to utilize the benefits and understand what they have, so that as they get to use it, because what we've seen is once someone's using it, whether it's for the health insurance component or the extra benefits, once they're using it actively, it's more difficult to get them to change. It's the people that haven't gone out and utilized the benefits that are at their fingertips that are, easy to change, because no one's told them to do it. And so they always think the next plan is the one that's going to have those benefits. And then they fail to even activate those plans because they just get into this cycle of changing. Then they'll be out there saying these things are all a scam. Well, all the while they actually had the things they had been advertised. They just didn't know how to activate it and use it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's the first step for us is how do we stop the shop and make people feel that reassurance that the plan they selected with their agent is in fact what they selected. Now, the hard part is agents are busy, right? You guys are trying to close new policies, right? So the beautiful thing about a voice AI is that, a beneficiary can speak with it for as long as they would like. And we keep a lot of guardrails on it with regards to how much it can discuss about the policy. But the main thing is getting a space for the beneficiary to feel heard and be able to sit on the phone and ask all the questions they have about the additional benefits, or the core benefits that it offers on the health insurance side. And we can address the basic questions, but more importantly, we can surface that to the team in a really clean space where they can understand, the relative health, the level of uncertainty that each customer has about their plan. And so then it's no longer just records in a spreadsheet, but you can actually see, how is Caroline doing right now? Okay, she spoke with CareCycle. She has questions about the dental benefits. She has an upcoming procedure she wants to make sure she's, feeling safe about. And if our customer has a client care team or a member care team, we can schedule appointments with them to get those resolved. If they don't, then just the logging alone and providing a space for beneficiaries to raise those concerns in an always-on fashion, they can call it 24/7 and vent about it, has been a really big breakthrough for us. Now, the next thing that we're working on past effectuation is, asking our customers, how can we effectively engage people to get them to utilization and provide that always-on experience? So pre-effectuation, we have a lot of kind of notifications. We call them for a welcome call 24 hours after the sale. That's giving them an introduction to what to expect next. Then we call them again for the approval call when the carrier has approved it. And there's a little bit going on in between. So that's the inbound kind of capabilities of creating that space, stopping the shop, providing a space for them to ask any questions they have about the plan. After that, there's a variety of things we can do though. The beautiful thing about it is we're now in a place where we can have like what I call stateful omni-channel AI. So we're not building individual AI assistants that are, very programmed with a set of steps to complete like we used to be. But now we can actually integrate a lot of information. So each assistant knows who this customer is and knows their previous history of contact with the agency. So, knows what they spoke about on the last call and can kind of greet them accordingly. So through that, what we're looking to create more in the industry and more in the senior experience in general is the opportunity always to speak with someone who knows who you are, right away. And in that process, also reinforce the name of who their licensed agent is. So we use that data in all of the calls. Hey, I'm calling regarding your conversation with Stephanie yesterday to enroll in your new Humana plan. Wanted to check if you have any questions at all. We're here to help you out. Yeah.
So as the conversations are recorded, I'm assuming like as CareCycle is communicating with the customer, they're notating that conversation. So it would recall when they call back the entire conversation, even like nuanced details, because the instant recall of AI would technically be even better than a human in a lot of cases, at least from a recall standpoint. That's really cool. So one of the things we see I love the phrase "stop the shop." I've heard you use that a couple of times, and that's cool. I feel like I have to give you credit for it. Start using hashtag "stop the shop." I like that. But there is a thing that's happening right now that we're seeing where because some of the consumers think they can stack benefits, and so and I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but if you aren't, it might be something to like kind of add into the concept because sometimes we're not even just stopping them shopping. It's like on the education call. Might be something in there, but like some consumers actually believe they can stack these benefits, but every one of them supersedes the one before. Maybe don't use the word supersede. You got to talk to them at a level, but like it's just one of those concepts because they're doing that. We'll see them like they'll call back. We've had it where someone will call in. One of our agents in the office will get it, help them find a plan. It's the same office, cubicle right across. And it's going through the same exact thing and they're trying to sign up for another plan. It's funny that they do that. But I mean, they're just advertised so much too, and yes, one way to get a lot of business is to just go out and write as much as possible. but I imagine if you could keep it. I do know a lot of agencies that have 70% effectuation, and so they'll report a $70 cost per acquisition or $100 cost per acquisition, but really when you take the cost of effectuation in, it's more than that. And then past effectuation, it's what's the long-term persistence. You're like, well, how can I get them to, if they need something, call my agency back versus going through another ad and ended up in somebody else's, at somebody else's desk. So this is a great solution. I know that over time, the evolution of this type of software, this type of process is going to enhance the ability to maintain people's book of business, grow at a gradual rate, not having to chase your tail all the time, not having to expand your outreach efforts as quickly to offset your fall off, which is what happens a lot in this industry. So I think this is really cool. I'm excited to get you involved and to plug you into some of our partners and to even talk to my CTO about how it could help. So if someone was wanting to get information about CareCycle right now, I know they can go to carecycle.ai. Is that the best way to kind of get plugged in immediately?
Yeah, carecycle.ai has some basic information on what we're doing, but highly recommend just schedule a call, chat with us. We're a total open book. And we're also going to be launching a lot of content in the coming weeks and months here. So we're launching our blog this week. That'll be full of content, not just about our product, but about what we're learning about what agencies can do to increase their retention, improve their member experience at large, whether that has to do with taking care of your agents differently, providing different training and coaching strategies, down to the media buying side of things. So really excited for that. And of course, there may be adjacent lines related to the product, but we think this is a very holistic problem. And, with 50 to 70% effectuation rates, like we know agencies where, depending on your deal with your FMO, they're actually losing money because their effectuation rate was lower than the advance that they were given during AEP, right? And so if, I've been in professional services, kind of lots of different areas in professional services, and now in AI for a few years. And, if an AI company, if a software company had that level of churn rate, I mean, we would be bleeding. The boat is leaking. And so I think a lot of agencies, like you said, are chasing their tail, wondering, well, how can we sign so many new policies that it outpaces the lack of effectuation?
Yeah.
I think if people switch gears a little bit and go, well, if we could hold on to 20 or 30% more of every policy we sign, suddenly our agents can actually slow down and provide better policy reviews. And it becomes a virtuous cycle where they're closing more deals in less time because the AI assistant is helping them out on the front end. And then on the back end, taking care of that customer. So like you said, it's cost per acquisition is kind of the big metric that everyone looks at. What's your CPA? But I like how you bring it down to cost per effectuation, because that's the real metric that we should be optimizing for. If you sell 1,000 policies and keep 500, I think you're better off, selling 500 and keeping 500, right? And I think licensed agents that are writing those policies will also feel better about it, and they can build a long-term relationship with these customers, very high LTV.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right. I think this is certainly a cutting edge way to navigate towards that initiative. And I'm excited to talks with your team. And so if people are going to set up a demo, they'd go to carecycle.io or not IO, AI, right? Carecycle.ai, right?
On LinkedIn, as well as our blog content. Hopefully it's valuable. Hopefully, if people have discussions they want to start based on that content, I'd love to speak with them about that as well.
I'm sure it will be. And reach out to me again on LinkedIn, Alex, because I would plug you into some people in there that I think would be really cool connections for you and what you're doing. And I can't wait to see you putting out content and helping change the space for the better.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
It's Alex. Talk to you soon, brother.
Yeah.